Okay, so we finished with chapter 6 and we are continuing with chapter 7. And this is now second part in the book, and this is about presentation enhancements. So chapter 7 is about present content in tables, and then chapter 8 is about fine-tune visual elements, and then chapter 9 add other enhancements, and 10 about animations, audio, video, insertion. So let's look at it, what we have right now. Chapter 7 is here. It's already downloaded for me. So basically you can download it every time from uCampus. Of course you have to unzip it, so App2Comp, and then place your folder whenever you work basically on the desktop, so that you can continue all the time and you can also find your files. Great, then let's see what we have for chapter 7. Insert tables, format tables, embed and update Excel sheets. Often you will would like to have some arguments making something in PowerPoint, and you would like to show present facts and figures that are best presented in table. And tables condense information, so they consist of information into highly structured row and column grid formats. And if the tabular information already exists, for example in Microsoft Excel worksheet, you can copy and paste it into a PowerPoint table anytime. Good. Inserting tables. So when you want to present a lot of data in an organized and easy to read format, a table is often your best choice. On a slide that includes content placeholder, you can click the placeholders, insert the table button. To start the process creating of a table. So once you specify a number of columns and rows you want in the table, PowerPoint will create this table structure, which consists of two-dimensional organization of rows and columns. The box at the intersection of each row and column is called the cell. Often the first row is used for column heading, and the leftmost column is used for row heading. So you work with tables in PowerPoint in much the same way as you work with tables in Microsoft Word. You enter the information and then you can jump to the next cell by clicking Tab key on your keyboard. So Tab key, which is on the left side, actually under Escape. If you see it, it's number 3 under Escape button on the corner, right? And you can also merge cells by clicking the Merge Cells button in the Merge group of the Layout tab to merge combine selected cells into one cell that spans two or more columns or rows. You can also insert a column or a row by clicking the corresponding column, row and column group layout tab, tool tab button. So again, you can insert a column to the left, to the right. You can insert a row to the top or under the last line anytime if you click the corresponding button in the rows and columns group of the Layout Tool tab. Good, then let's start with it. Water saving A. Okay, and we have to turn to slide number 13. I have already done this work here in this computer, but you also can just jump to slide number 13. You have two ways to insert a table. One of the ways is just if you have an empty placeholder, then you just click here, or in the insert tab, and here pure so table button. It's good. Let's start with this one here, and let's take 5 and 3. So 5 columns and here 3 rows. You also see C stands for column and R stands for row. Then if you are done, jump with tab to the next, to the second column and the top, and also type in winter, spring, summer, and fall in each cell. Winter, spring, summer, and fall, or autumn you can also take, and then minimum, and here you go with 18, 41, 73, 43, and average is 29, 57, 89, and 54, and then maximum 40, 72, 105, and 65. Also, the next one, what you can do is to add one more row, which I did again by pressing simply the tab button. And if I go and would like to add one more row, all I do is just go to the end here, and of course this time it will not jump to make and create a new row, but if I do it here and press the tab button, right, the third one under escape on the keyboard, then I make another row. Now there is a problem, we do not need these many rows, so what can we do then? In the layout group, so in the layout tool tab, basically, sorry, we have the chance to take out here these unuseful rows, and that's what I'm going to do. One time I did it, and I think 2 more times I have to do it. You see it again, it's R, so row and column. So, and actually I made a mistake, I selected the table itself. Okay, let's get back to the row again. This table is selected, that's why I cannot do it. Okay. So you have to deselect the table and then you can go with it. That's it. Now it's done. And let's insert, first of all, let's move this table down. And let's insert in the layout tool tab, let's insert above one, but you have to be in the top line so that it's going to be above. So in the top row and above, and that's it, what you get. Now, let's also go to number 2, 3, and 4. So drag through. And then here you have the merge group and the merge cell, so cell Pyonghap. If you do it, your cells are merged across. And all you have to do here is seasonal temperatures. You type in, and that's it. So you are done now, almost. There is a problem. You have to make it aligned into center, and for that you use Control E, or here again in the layout contextual tool tab, you see Control E 가운데 맞춤, so center alignment. Okay, basically we are done with this assignment, and we can continue with formatting tables. Now that you know how to make a table, you can also format the entire table in addition to individual cells by using the commands, the design and format tool tabs. So these tool tabs only appear when the table is active. So you selected the table, or you are in the table with your mouse or cursor, actually. Good. Let's start with water saving B. Again, slide number 13, and here we have a few things to change this time. Okay, then the first one is that you have to select the table somehow, and then you can get into the design tool tab, and here you can take out the 줄무늬 행, which is the banded row in English. So banded row, 줄무늬 행, you can deselect. And also select the 첫째 열, so first column, and this is the result what you get. Okay, this is the result what you get. Okay, let's see how we can also change the style. This time it's medium style, so 보통 medium style, and 2 accent 4. So 2, so like as you see, this is 1, right? And here it's 2 and 3 and 4, so 2 accent 4. Great. Now this time you can drag through winter, spring, summer here, and fall. And in the shading arrow, so shading here, you can also select olive green if you have, but I don't know. Well, I guess something like this is supposed to be olive green, but I just take this time this one here. And it says lighter 40%. We can of course change this a little bit darker also, then this is what we get. Oh, it says light green background 2. So light green background 2. That's this here. Actually, I made a mistake. I selected also the top row, which is wrong, definitely. All I need is just this one here, and now it's done. Okay, in the Design Tool tab again, in the Table Style group, click Shading, arrow. This is what we did, and 105, please click it. And then also in the theme colors, so design and theme colors, you can change the color to orange accent 3. That's this. And let's take also 18. And for 18 we take the more fields this time. So 18, this is a little bit harder, so let's take it a closer look. And standard, so Pyojun, and here you can take any of these two blues, because it says you have to take the pale blue color near the center of the color wheel. So this is the color wheel, and click OK. So I take this one, this is the paler, I guess, and then we are done. Done. We are done. And the next one, what we have to do is select this seasonal temperatures here and go to the Word.style. Here, Word.style, and here you have many options to take. What we will take here is perhaps this one. Fill light green background to 2 and inner shadow. So 채우기, yeah, right. 연한 녹색, that's light green. 배경 2, so background 2, and 안쪽 그림자, so inner shadow. That's exactly what we were looking for. Please go through all the others as well, so you know what you are using. Okay, here. The possibility that this time it is included in the exam is relatively high. Great, then you can do these steps also for minimum, average, and maximum. So let's go ahead and take this again here, and then you would do the same here, but I'm going to say to you, don't do that. Go to the Home tab, and here Sashi Boxa, and all you have to do is just go ahead and do it again and again. Good, then if you are done and you click away, you see that there is no border. So what you can do is you add outside border, so design again, 테두리, and here 바깥쪽 테두리, so outside border. Also, one thing, if you would like to move the table itself, then you make sure that you see this 4-way cross arrows, then you can move it. If you don't see it, but you see something like this is just to select the text inside, yeah, or here also. This is just selecting the first row, and this one is just making, yeah, this is this larger, right? So it's completely different. Yeah. Good, then let's select the table again, and here we have another way to change this design. You see also here, this is also Thema style 1, Kangjo 4, and here you have Adobke, etc., etc. So this time we will take here, I believe, medium style accent 2. So medium style 2, accent 2. Here we go. This is now done, and this is the final version what we actually should have created this time. Also, let's close this. So Control W to close this, and then we can continue with May meeting. So chapter 7, May meeting, and we can go to slide 9. So what we do here is embedding and updating Excel worksheets. Embedded objects and linked objects differ in 2 ways. An embedded object maintains a direct connection to its original program, known as the source program. After you insert an embedded object, you can easily edit it by double-clicking it, which opens the program in which it was originally created. Be aware that embedding an object increases the presentation's file size, because PowerPoint has to store not only the data itself, but also information about how to display the data. The linked object is a representation on a slide of information that is still stored in the original document, known the source document. So if you added the source document to the source program after inserting a linked object, PowerPoint updates the slides representation of the object, because PowerPoint stores only the data needed to display the information. What we do here is without linking. Also, please try to work with linkage. So again, it's inserting here, and then you can go to the object. So insert object, and here you take Pylobuta, so from file, create from file, and here you already have your file downloaded, and it's in the desktop, chapter 7 and new equipment. So if you double click it, then this is what you get, and obviously you don't need the entire sheet here. All you need is to look at only a part of it, and this is that part actually, and now you can drag it and make it big enough, and here you move it into the middle as well. Then if you would like to change the design of this, okay, then let's take this, and then that's also possible. So for example, here you can take any color for this here, such as green. Let's take this green. And let's take for these things here also the same green. So this is what you can do with it. And realize something else also. Here in the FX, so I click here first into B2, which the number shows right now is 5%, right? But if I click the arrow down button, then you see here 10. So what is that 10 for? Years, okay? 10 years. And I made a mistake. I'm not changing it. I'm going through it. So the next number is like 1,550,000, and then here you see a PMT. The PMT is for counting the money you have to pay to the bank when you take a loan per, and this time here you see also per month, because it's divided by 12, so each month. Okay, so monthly payment, you see it, and I go to the next one, and you see now B5 is used with 36, and the next one time again another function B7 minus B6, and that's it. Now what if I change this B2 to 6? So let's look at the numbers during the time I'm changing it to 6. So I press now enter and look at the numbers downwards, down after 6%. Yeah, they are changing, right? So once again, it was 591,000, and then I have 619,000. So right, that's it. We finished with chapter 7 here.